In my opinion, Iowa Heartland Habitat for Humanity provides affordable housing for all different aspects of the community. We build up neighbors and home buyers who are looking for an affordable place to call home.
I just wanted something better for my girls. I was like bouncing from, not from home to home, but I didn't feel like I was very stable. And so I researched what Iowa Habitat for Humanity was and filled out an application. And the first time didn't go very well. The second time didn't go very well, but I just kind of kept going with it. And it's just that basic, I wanted stability for my girls. So this was, maybe 7 years ago. So it's been a while.
We're also building communities. If you just look at all the support we've had from surrounding neighbors, and once one house comes and a second house comes, those families become friends. It becomes more than just us building a house. It becomes a friendship, and almost like we're building one another up.
I was leaving a bad situation, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to get a home loan just being myself. So I figured, why not give Habitat a try to see if I qualify. This will be the first time we've had our own space. Right now we live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and all 4 of the kids sleep in the same room. 3 of them sleep on the same bed, and then the baby sleeps in her pack and play.
We recognize there's a large need in our area for home repairs for people who already own the home, not strictly new construction. So there's a large demographic of people who could use some help just to maintain their home.
Because of my struggles with epilepsy, I contacted Habitat because we just had a cement slab step here and there were no railings, and there was no way for me to safely get outside and enjoy this beautiful sunshine or even just walk to get my mail. It wasn't safe. I had fallen off having seizures before, and it was just time to do something about that.
The neighborhood services covers critical home repair, neighborhood revitalization, a lot of different facets of it, but the need is people who are living in their home who are just struggling to maintain it or trying to, I don't know how you phrase it, prevent the home from going to disrepair to where they'd have to eventually vacate the home. So essentially what we're trying to do is allow them to stay in their home as long as possible.
They had a roof put on not long before they started on the siding here, and that was just great. It was just raining in all the rooms, and I had no idea. I moved in with all my stuff, getting ready to set up, and all of a sudden a thunderstorm came, and I was like, oh no. It was wet all through the house. I was discouraged. I was ready to leave. But then Habitat came through, and like I said, it gave me a lot of faith of trying to proceed on getting the house back to its former glory. It used to be a beautiful house long ago.
I guess on the neighborhood revitalization part, it's kind of a multiple ways of approaching the same neighborhood. So we'll do some new construction homes, some remodels, repairs, but try to identify anything in the neighborhood that could use just a little bit of help, a little bit of upbringing, try to build that hope back in that community.
Allie approached me one day and said, do you think the NAS builders would be interested in doing a rehab in the Walnut neighborhood? And I said, well, we'll take a look at it. So I came over here with Allie one day, and I looked at her and I said, are you crazy? Because then, when you first look at a job like this, you go, wow, should be bulldozer material. But when you hear the rest of the story, you understand why it makes sense. Why we'd want to put the effort into trying to restore this property, because it's part of an overall neighborhood rehabilitation.
I just look at the Walnut neighborhood in particular and just the whole rejuvenation of that area and the attitude and the pride that's there and the businesses that have come and have started and those that are coming. And part of that really has to do with the hard work that Iowa Heartland has started, but it's not been on its own. That's the part that I think is so great, that it's this collective. It's the neighborhood association. It's working with other partners in that community, both nonprofits and for-profit businesses, to talk about, you know, how could we do this together.
The work of the coalition here, I think, is crucial because it brings together all the stakeholders in the neighborhood, brings together organizations that want to bring their gifts and talents to bear. And it's not just a group of people coming in from the outside and saying, well, we're going to do this to make it better. It's really what the neighborhood wants to happen.
That's so critical, that all voices are heard, and I really feel like Iowa Heartland is doing that in that great collaborative way, which is so important.
We go around to each other's homes, and everybody is getting motivated to do something different. When before, this was like a dead neighborhood. They tore down a lot of beautiful mansions around here, really huge homes that are no longer here. And Habitat decided, no, it's not going to tear down anything else. They'd rather build them back up than to tear them down.
You know, this activity here that's going on in this neighborhood is really the first new construction that's happened here in, 40 or 50 years. And I think when the neighborhood sees that, you know, the stuff is for real, there's boots on the ground, there's people hammering nails, there's people working hard to make this neighborhood a place where people want to live.
They're revitalizing the neighborhood, and they're doing a hell of a job with it. It's looking very good.
As far as the work the volunteers do, it definitely helps the communities, and it visibly changes the communities. This block, for example, when we started here, it used to be an empty lot, and all 14 houses that we have here now, they're all volunteer built, and so it's kind of amazing seeing the visible difference that the hard work of a volunteer coming out will actually do to a community.
I just love the idea of giving someone home ownership. I think that's such a basis for you know, their lives. It gives them such a strong place to, you know, deal with all their other issues once you have that home ownership. And so I really believe in the mission of Habitat.
Every morning when we, before we start, or shortly when most of the guys are here, we'll stop and pray. And one of the things that we pray, you know, for the Lord helping us to do and be safe, but also for the person who's going to come and live in here. We're always cognizant of we're doing something to help someone, to give them a hand up.
There was a lot of people working on my house, and every time I tried to come and give them something, just saying hi or just, you know, appreciation or whatnot. But I definitely think that if you look at this house, it's worth it. You know, it's worth all the volunteers, all the donations. You know, it's definitely worth it, because you get to see me smile every day. Like, I get a glimpse of smile, so.
To the volunteers, I would say thank you for all the help that you provide, but also to the homeowners, thank you as well for being willing to step up and be part of this process, because it truly is a partnership. And there's investment from the volunteers as well as investment from the homeowners. And that's really a very neat thing to have that combination.
I think the overall project that the whole neighborhood association and Habitat and other partners have been working on can be summed up in one word, and that's hope.
Iowa Heartland is, gosh, I keep going back to a blessing. Like, that just keeps popping in my head, because I feel like they've blessed a lot of people.
The completion of this project has given me a sense of independence that I did not have before. I could not be more happy with just the feeling that I have of, hey, I'm gonna be safe enough to do this.
These are tangible things that you can drive by 100-some homes around here and say, that family's got a place to live, and their life's gonna be different.
To have a home means to have everything. That's like the foundation of your life, is a place to call home.
We value you. We really care about you. And we want to supply you with something that you can grow with.
It'd be something to pass down to my grandchildren, children. If they decide they want to live in the family house, that'd be fine with me.
I would tell donors that people like me who grew up with absolutely nothing, lived in very low poverty, are absolutely thankful for the things that they do for us. Because without them, more than likely, this wouldn't be something I would be able to do for my kids.
There's so much need out there and so few resources, and this program, it can just do amazing things to better people's lives. It really can.
Well, I think with the Builders Circle, we really became aware of it at the breakfast last year. We have been making charitable contributions to Iowa Heartland for a couple years, but just looked at it a little bit more differently in the Builders Circle, and just thinking that it definitely would be a charity that we would love to continue to make that commitment to. As a fundraiser, I understand the importance of really having those commitments year after year, and how that helps with the planning and the strategies that go into place for the programming. And so it definitely makes sense for us to be a part of the Builder Circle.
And I think you get to see long-term a return in your investment, because neighborhoods like the Walnut neighborhood get better, families get better, kids do better in school. I can't think of a better way to invest your money than that, and that's why Noreen and I choose to do it. It just makes sense to us.
Whatever small or large part that you've done, that you've made a difference. And that's the bottom line for any of us in this world.
And to see how it came around in a small amount of time, I believe anything is possible through Heartland.